You can't change your past, but you could change how it controls you. And the only way to do that is by giving yourself some forgiveness. The only way I was able to change everything within my life was to finally, and it took a very long time, was to forgive myself from the past mistakes that I had made. You see, walking around with all that guilt, all that shame every single day about your past mistake is not going to make you a happier person today. You're always going to end up in a rut, mad, angry, irritated, and talking so down about yourself because of all the stuff you've done in the past. And that emotional baggage of every single day walking around with that in your life is so frustrating. And I dealt with it, man, so I get it. The mistakes that I made in the past and I was so embarrassed about, and I did not even want to tell people. It felt like I'm being two different people, like I'm just hiding my true self due to the fact that I was embarrassed and I had shame. And because of that, I did not want to pursue anything in my life that would be risky because I was afraid to fail. So I felt like everything that has happened to me in life, I deserved it. So the things that happened to me in life, a lot of it was financial. I made horrible, horrible financial decisions in my 20s. And to this day, I'm still paying for it within my 40s. And the reason why, though, the truth be told is the reason why I'm still continue paying for it is because of regret and shame. I don't want to acknowledge it. I didn't want to look at it. I would act like, you know what, that's the past, who cares? I made up so many excuses, man. I made up so many excuses. And the fact of when my credit was taking a hit, it was like, wow, I deserve it. And I was just punishing myself, continuously punishing myself every single day for things I did in the past. And you might be doing the same. You might be punishing yourself from something you did in the past and you're not letting go. You're not forgiving yourself for the stupid purchases you made in the past, or the fact that you missed a few credit card payments, or you racked up so much debt, or you went to school and you have so much student loans, and every single time you make that payment, you just cringe. But you're making the minimum payment, ain't doing nothing about it, and you're like, you know what? This is my life. I deserve this life because that's what I chose. I chose to get student loans. I chose to get all those debt within my 20s. And now you're in your late 30s, on your 40s, and you feel like this is it. This is what life is all about. So you walk around with so much guilt. But having all that guilt doesn't give you growth. There's only one thing that will help you get out of the funk that you were in, and that's reflection and forgiveness. You see, what forgiveness looks like is just like this. These are the things I had to say to myself, and I had to like rephrase certain things that I say to myself, which is not that I am wrong, it's what I did was wrong. Not that I am stupid, it's what I did was stupid. Detaching those sayings and labeling yourself stupid, dumb, irresponsible is not going to help you. You're not going to grow if you continue living life just labeling yourself all this negativity stuff. Because only one person really could get you out of the funk that you're in, and it's yourself. Some of us talk about ourselves in a way we won't even talk to other people. We call ourselves stupid, dumb, ignorant. We would never go around calling other people that. But we're saying all these words to ourselves. So of course, if you're saying it to yourself, then it has to be true. That's how you feel though, right? Mentally, you feel like that has to be true. And I used to always feel like, yeah, I'm dumb. Yeah, I'm ignorant. Simply because I didn't understand a lot of things about finance. And I'm blaming myself for everything. When the reality is like, that's learning, right? I was going through a process and I learned from it. And it's okay. That happened in the past. Today is today. What am I doing going forward? That's the most important part. Worrying about the past is not going to help you for what you're doing today unless you're learning from the mistakes that you made in the past. So simply just acknowledging the mistakes you made in the past, regardless to what it is, whether you had an outburst with someone or like I said, if it's with finances or whatever it is, acknowledging it is the best way to move forward. And have a conversation with yourself. I always talk to myself and I make amends with myself. I have daily conversations with myself and I'm saying, you know what? I'm sorry for being rude to you. I'm sorry for saying all these negative things. I'm sorry that I said something negative to someone else. I apologize to him as well. But most importantly, you need to just come to realization you cannot walk around with all this burden and acting like you're perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are. Because being perfect is an illusion and it's something you will never achieve. And what changed for me as well is recognizing the things that happened to me in the past was a lesson. Was a lesson that I could learn. When I racked up so much credit card debt, oh man, that is a lesson. The lesson is you have to be responsible with money. You have to budget. You can't live on more than what you make. You have to live on less than what you make. You have to understand you can't treat people that way. You have to understand that everything is just a lesson. And that's what life is all about. Life is just an experiment that we're in, and everything you're going through is a lesson. Once I started looking at things and recognizing, okay, this thing happened to me that was bad, it's a lesson I could learn, I could take, and I could grow from, then I started growing and becoming a better person. Then I started becoming more courageous. I don't look at things as something being negative. I look at it in a positive spin. Some people say I have toxic positivity, whatever, whatever. But that's just how I function. And that's the only way for me to grow is by looking at every little moment, every little mistake that I made in the past and recognize I'm not perfect. Anyone could have made that mistake. But the difference is I learned from it and I moved on. And you could do the same. And most importantly, when you do that, you're just releasing that weight. You just don't understand how good it feels to release that weight and just forgive yourself. A lot of times I journal and I just write all these crazy things, my thoughts. I just write everything down. And a lot of times I always forgive myself for certain things I did, certain things I said. And just that feeling of just writing in a journal, I'm not sure if you guys ever done that. If you do, you have to do it. It just feels so good. It feels so good to get everything just out there in the open. You in the journal, just blah, get it out. All from your head, write on paper. And it feels so freeing. It feels so liberating. And that's what we all need to do. We need to either write it down on a piece of paper or just have that mental conversation and shed light on it. Because all that stuff you're keeping in the dark, once you shed light on it, is going to disappear. So I recognize that I am just not perfect. And the mistakes that I made in the past doesn't make me who I am today. The person that I am today is the person that learned from those mistakes. I am not those mistakes. Keep the mistakes in the past. You learn and you grow and you move on and you move forward. Trust me, you will be a better person if you continue just pushing and pushing and learning and growing and stop talking to yourself in such a negative way. That is never going to get you anywhere in life. You will just be stuck, miserable, and you have no one else to blame but you because you do have the opportunity to forgive yourself.